Pastor Timothy to prevent confusion and fanaticism in public prayer. You can compare in your own time, 1 Corinthians 14, verse 40, where it says everything should be done in a gentle, orderly manner. Men with no moral defilement are the ones to lift hands in prayer. Holy hands symbolize the clean hand, uprightness of life. That's what Paul meant here. Now that was with men. Now coming to women. In a like manner, in the same way, okay? In the same way, when they say man with holy hands should lift their hand in prayer. So in the same way of public prayer, or in the same way of prayer, in a like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, acceptable apparel, with propriety and moderation, not with braided hair, or gold, or pearl, or costly clothing. What does Paul talk of here? The negation. The negation here is braided hair. They should not adorn themselves with braided hair, gold, pearl, or costly clothing, expensive dress, but which is proper for women professing godliness with good works. Any hairstyle, this is from SDA Bible Commentary, Volume 7. Any hairstyle that is designed to attract a special and flattering attention, so that people will be seeing here and there, to its honor, will be in contravention, will be contrary of the principle here set forth. What is that principle? Feminine modesty and moral purity. It will be against. This is according to SDA Bible Commentary, Volume 7. However, hair that is carelessly done up may be equally auspicious and in violation of Christian principles. Good taste is a part of good religion. You get the point here? Hairstyle that is done to draw attention to its honor, and hair that is left recklessly dangling in the space here is equally the same. Does not give a good connotation of Christian modesty. Now, social custom in those days, let a woman learn in silence, with whole submission. And I do not permit a woman to teach or to have authority over man, but to be in silence. This writing here also made some churches, even Adventist churches. When we were still under Sudan in Khartoum, there are churches, Adventist churches in Khartoum, who will never allow a woman to stand on the pulpit. My elder, the emphasis day of prayer of women day of prayer, it was a type of war in some of the churches. They will not allow a woman, women to hold that day. They will not allow a woman to stand on the pulpit. Just because of this misunderstanding of this writing. Now, in the days of Paul, custom required that women be very much in the background. Is it not with some of our culture here? If you go in some of our churches even today, you will find women sitting in one corner. And you wonder who told them to sit in one corner as women. And the men parade themselves in another corner. One day, one of my fellow and his friend, they were together in school in Russia. And one of his friends was holding a big position in the government, and one time he was a governor. So then his term ended. He said, let us go and visit my friend and pray for him. We went there, and then we were in the sitting room, the sofa set. We sat there, and then behind the sofa set, there are other chairs, like this one, like table chairs. And then time came down, we want to pray. The men came, they sat on the sofa set, and there was a lot of space still left. The mother of the house came, the wife of that governor came. Do you know where she said? She said, at the behind seat. And I say, I noticed there is something, but I wanted to confirm. I say, oh, there is enough space here. Why can she come here? She said, no, let us sit there. What is it? Why? Why the lady sit there and there is enough space? The sofa set was enough to carry all of us. It is what? Custom, culture. You see? So the social custom in Paul's days was that women were always to be at the background. They were not to speak. That's what they were to learn what? In silence. They were not allowed. It was the custom. Therefore, if women, believers, had spoken out in public or otherwise made themselves prominent, these scriptural injunctions would have been violated and the cause of God would have suffered reproach. That's why Paul advised that women should be silent, not to violate the custom and the culture by them, so that in the eyes of the public, Christianity, as it was growing, should not be overlooked, or people should not hate Christianity because on the account of women is accorded to women. Paul felt it to be expedient, convenient, to give this counsel to the church. Any severe breach of accepted social custom bring reproach upon the church. Christians should avoid even the appearance of evil. If doing something you think it is right, but also will block up the way for the church to go out to spread the message, which is better? Which is better? Huh? Which is better? Hello? Are we together? Yes. If doing something that you think is right will be an obstacle to the preaching of the gospel, to the spreading of the gospel, which one will you go for? That's what even Paul advised in Romans 14. If eating meat offered to idol will make the one who is weak in faith to fall, is better you live for eating the meat, so that what you bury your brother. It's still on adulthood. Peter also wrote about it. Let's see what will be the comment on that. Do not let your adornment be merely outward, arranging the hair, wearing gold, or putting on fine apparel. Rather, let it be the hidden treasure of the heart, with the incorruptible beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is very precious in the sight of God. So here, Peter is comparing outward beauty and the inward beauty. Which one is expensive on the side of God? Which one is great value on the side of God? The inward beauty. For in this manner, in former times, the holy women who trusted in God also adorned themselves by submission to their own husbands. Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him my Lord, whose daughter you are, if you do good and not afraid with any terror. Now, adornment, as mentioned in 1 Timothy 2:9, it is not fitting for a Christian to make a vain display of dress and ornaments. If you put on dress, if you go to the shop to buy dress, the main idea should not be to draw attention to you, but what? To have something to cover you. Her greatest attraction should be her Christian conduct. So ladies who are Christian, their greatest attraction should be their Christian conduct, not wearing of anything on their body. Hair plaiting style was time-consuming and criterion of wealth and fashion. During the Greco-Roman Empire, hair plaiting, even today, those funny style, how many days do they take, ladies? How many days? The funny, I did not put the picture there, I could bring the picture and put there. They are very funny hairstyles. Plaiting of hairstyles. How many days? You tell us, huh? Some take 1 day, some take a day and a half. So which means it has also come to our days. So during the Greek and Roman world, plaiting of hair was time consuming. And it is an indication that you are wealthy. And if you go for 2 or 3 days, which means your fashion is what? Is better than the others. It was like a matter of competition. The motive, what was the motive of all this hairstyles? The motive was a desire for a personal attention. And that is not in harmony with the basic principle of Christianity. Let me still remain on hair plaiting. Now, earlier we found that if you keep your hair also untidy, that it is equally the same with the one that has made a lot of funny style. Okay? So which one is better? If we are to draw a conclusion on hair plaiting, ladies can plait but simple hair plait, simple one. Which means her own hair, if it is plait, it will not have very much problem, because nothing added to it to draw attention and attract somebody. It is the same hair plaited without additional of anything. Because what should control us in our dress? Modesty, simplicity. Modesty and simplicity. So if the hair is plaited in a simple manner to make it look nice, not shabby, okay? Because we have found that if you also look nice, is what a sign of what a good religion, okay? It's a sign of good religion also. We found it here. Plentiful were the glittering rings, bracelets, and anklets that fashionable women wore in the Roman Empire. Such wearing of gold was contrary to the principle of Christian modesty and simplicity. What should guide us is modesty and simplicity in all our dress. Now, in baptismal class, plainly it is taught the prohibition of wearing ornaments, earrings, necklace, handbands, or maybe waist beads, okay? But you find these days, our ladies are still having a taste, especially the young one. They have taste of wearing those things. If we go around, maybe inspect, we'll find some might be having a stable. You know, some of them, they buy, I don't know, maybe it is very costly, they buy very tiny one, they put here. These are church members, they hold there like that, they go to the market and buy a very tiny one. There was one day I saw a very prominent church member, young lady, not yet married. Something caught my attention. I thought maybe I did not see well. Because suddenly she disappeared. Because she wear also this artificial hair covering. But one day I saw it very clearly. It was with me in my eye, so it right with the other time. So it was still there. I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say. There was one time also, I was a district pastor somewhere. A lady has the handbag. I said, hey, do you still have the appetite for this one? Why don't you take it out? She said, but I will take it. I said, now that you have these beads to your hand here, what about in your waist? And they don't tell, I say, Pastor, they are there. But he was very sincere. I said, remove them. Take them out. Take them out. So, what will be our conclusion on artificial hair? You have your own hair. It's better you keep your natural hair. You keep your natural hair. If you want to play natural hair without any additional, because that's what God has created you with. Why do you add another one? So the add, you see, your hair are short. I saw some, they add with rope and so on, so that it reach where? Here. The waist. What is it for? We already told here, if you do all those to draw attention and attraction to yourself, then it is not a good thing. You are violating basic Christian principle. It's a violation. Well, as has been said, this is not, even if I wear this, it will not prevent me from going to heaven. Yeah, they argue like that. So it's not a condition for going to heaven. Wearing is not a condition for going to heaven. But we have to teach the basic truths about Christian behavior. If someone will stick to his or her own way of doing things, let us leave them alone. Leave them alone. And they will face it someday. They will face it someday. And when we started this presentation, we found that Christians are known by what? We are known by what? By what we eat, by what we drink, where do we find our amusement, which party do we go to? According to 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31, whatsoever you do, whatsoever you eat, you drink, you do unto the glory of God. That should be the controlling text for us in the Bible to guide our Christian behavior. There are other things which I did not talk of here, even which may touch men. You see, the other day I asked, I say, is there a factory that manufactures Christian dress? Is there? No. So, what should guide us then in our selection of our dress? Modesty, appropriateness. We choose modesty and simplicity. Moderation. You know, as Christians, we are always moderate in our doing things. We are not too low down there. We are not also too high there. We don't compete with the world. We select what is modest and with all Christian simplicity and humility. Now, when you see the dress these days, let me go to men, the trousers. If you go, you can't buy any trouser, you buy that will not reach to your waist. It will end up at the tip of your buttocks there. And to make it worse, even some church members, you fix your eyes to the ladies, you forgot yourself. See, you find yourself wearing very tiny trousers, almost just to your skin, and does not reach to your waist. These are also not appropriate. There are a lot that we can share about dress, adornment, but the time is not enough. And actually today is the last time for my presentation. We hope one time we'll have a Bible conference. It is in Bible conference that we'll have enough time. But we come meeting like this, where we crowded with so many things, we don't have enough time to exhaust everything. I don't know whether people have questions. First of all, Kenyon, I don't know how many minutes are left for me. 10 minutes. Maybe the 10 minutes, I will leave it for comment and questions, so that you don't go hungry. Any question? I'll pick maybe 2 burning questions. One from men, one from lady. 2 only. And then also 2 comments.
Yes. Because my question is that there is something that has been written in Leviticus 19:27 that says that man should not cut the hair round and cut their beard here. So I don't know. Now when we see around our members, they are cutting their beard hair and shaving hair, decorating their hair. So how can we manage that?
Okay, thank you for that question. Okay, you want to answer? How many did I say? How many questions? I say 2 burning questions. One from lady, one from men. I think the 2 questions are already asked. We don't have enough time. You can ask, but then we will not have time to answer. Okay, give her. Maybe you will have time to digest with another forum.
What is good? And all the time. Like if I read the book of Paskwale chapter 2 verse 9, it says, in like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness, vulgarity, not with braided hair, or gold, pearls, or costly array. Now, my question is that here, there is no differentiation. It was not said that no human hair or what? Braiding in general. Now, where did we get that one that women should blend their natural hair only?
Okay.
I can blame the people that explain what I was.
Okay. Where did we get the idea that women should braid their natural hair only? Okay. Is there somebody who will answer those three questions? We are going now to answer those three questions. I'll give opportunity to one who wants to answer those three questions. Yes.
I'm answering the question of the beards and the shaving of the shaving of the beards. I think scripture. I don't know what the question is about, whether this is right or wrong. When you read it, you shall not shave, that is Leviticus 19:27. You shall not shave around the sides of your head, nor shall you disfigure the edges of your head. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor tattoo any marks on you. I am the Lord. When God says I am the Lord and you are his child, you should not do that. Why then should we do it? If we do it, it's simply because of disobedience or ignorance. Either the person does not know or is simply not obeying the word of God.
Did you understand that response? You see, normally culturally, people shave the front of their head. Okay? You know, in some occasion, in some regions, like in my culture, when that person died, some people shave completely, like this one. Completely. And if you don't want to shave, they will say, okay, we will only do it this way. You see, all goes to the motive. What is the motive? What is the motive of shaving? But if you shave your hair, because we are told that men should not grow their hair so long, okay? So if you trim your hair to look nice, is it sinful? No, it's not. Now, let me go to the question of Nyandek. You are not there. You follow what I'm reading here. This is from SDA Bible Commentary. However, hair that is carelessly done, okay? Carelessly done, may be equally conspicuous and in violation of it's the same like plating with those styles. Good taste. How can your hair have good taste? Good taste is a part of good religion. So how can your hair have good taste? It is my recommendation. Your natural hair, which God has given you, if you plait it, there is nothing wrong. Unless you do with this any hairstyle that is designed to attract special and flattering attention to its owner would be in contravention of the principle here set forth. If you plait your hair with a style with the motive of attracting people to you, then it becomes sinful. But if you just let your natural hair to have a good taste, to look nice, that is my recommendation. If you want to take it, you take. If you want to throw it, you throw it. If you want to keep your hair cut, you cut. We have learned the other day that is it good for a woman to cut the hair out like this, to shave? That if it is shameful to shave the hair, because the long hair is given to a woman for what? for a covering. Okay? And if you plait your natural hair and they grow big enough, long enough to cover your head, it's given to you for a covering. If you find that it is a good taste for you to keep it short, you trim them, yeah, that is your choice. So we cannot make a rule about it. Do you want to give an answer? Because we have already closed the door to questions. Unless you want to give an answer. If question, you write it, bring it to me, we'll have another forum to talk about it.
It's just a comment.
It's a comment, welcome. There are some comments come with questions. If you bring comment with question, we don't answer your question. You write down and bring to me later.
Okay, thank you so much. I hope in the Bible when the thing is mentioned by in different books, it always takes us to be at least culture. It will not be a culture of that specific place. You know, when we see the time of Paul, there was no artificial air. So the subject here was a natural air that was being discussed. However, their air is not as our air. You know, my pastor, when we are talking about artificial air cannot be connected. Natural air is not plated. What makes it to be connected? What makes it natural to be connected? Up to bacteria, because it is plated. The natural and they are connected. And if we don't plate the natural air, then they cannot just come and put here and they hang around. You will fall down. So if we want to keep what Bible says, I want us to leave the Bible without our suggestion, because what you suggest. That's your opinion. But why don't we leave the Bible the way it is, so that if they will not play the natural air, then they will not have a way of bringing the artificial air and connecting it to. I have a whole Bible. If Bible said it, I believe.
Okay. Okay. Can you come, my sister? Come here. In blue, come here. Keep it standing. Come here, my sister. Come. You also come. You just come. Stand there. Are they natural? Are the hair natural? Is other hair division? Huh? Natural. So, unless somebody wants to ask something, they will ask. If you want to keep yourself natural, you will keep it natural. They are natural ladies. And there is nothing wrong with it. Because this is the hair that God has given to them. If they play with it, they arrange it here and there. What is wrong with it? You want them to shave them away and throw it away. This is the natural hair. Why do you want to trouble your sisters like that? Go and see. This is your natural hair. If you have artificial hair, there is problem. Yeah. They qualify, yes. They qualify. What?
Trousers.
Oh, the issue of the trousers. Now, earlier I told you. Now, if you see, I told you that culture has to do with our practices of life. You know, we are born within certain culture. All right? We end with that one. Earlier I asked you, is there a Christian factory that produces prescribed dress for men, for Christian? That this is Christian man, this is Christian lady. Do you have it? No. Now, if you go to the ancient days, the days of Jesus Christ, now, how were men dressing? Men. How were men dressing? I want to see our ladies here. Is there a lady that come with the long gown? Mama, enjoy, you like putting that one? I don't know. Can you stand, Mama? My sister. Mama Angels. Okay. Okay, now you come, my daughter, come here. Come here.
Hallelujah.
Now, in Jesus' days, even men put on like that. Yes? Was there any problem with them? No. Go, my sister. You see, now, trouser, you see, before it is shown, it is closed. Then it is fashioned into, to fit a lady. When you go to the market here, you will find some shirts, long sleeve shirts, short sleeve shirts, but they are ladies' shirts. Because the way it is shown with the sign of ladies. Now, men, don't you know the difference between, okay, because it was a lady who asked, do you know that there is difference between men's trouser and ladies' trouser? There is difference. So no man will be mistaken to go and buy the one of the lady, unless he came from the village. You see, men, clothes are put on according to the occasion. Like now, our ladies these days, they are not like the ladies of those statuaries, where they only know how to sit at home. They don't travel. You see, in those days, before the CPA, okay, before the CPA, what kind of transportation do we have? We have passport, but when you travel like from here to Go, from here to Rumbek, lorry, all speed. I hope you can remember that. There is a lorry called all speed. It's a Russian made. Now, will it be appropriate for a lady with a skirt to climb the Austin while men are down there? But when she is climbing with a trouser, she will be what? Comfortable. But also, you see, there is overdoing of things. Ladies, even if people who fashion dress, they fashion that this is lady dress, some of you go to the extreme for what? Attraction. You see, we have learned here that don't buy dress to draw attraction to you, to draw attention of men to you. That one is inappropriate. Some of you ladies, even if you put on this lady's trouser, but the shirt is where? Here. Such that now, you walk like this, and people, the men who are hungry, will be peeping around. Sometimes even I'm very shameful to see ladies here who put on trousers. The trousers try to draw their private part. Very dirty here, very plenty. Is it good for you, for a Christian lady, to draw you, make you all around them? So you have to see what is appropriate. We are told here, you put on what is appropriate. Hajal munasib. Mata kutu trouser bela sana nasuru matrouser. No, that one will not help you. Let me conclude by this story. This was over SSBC, our national TV. They were talking about raping. There was an old mama and there's a gentleman, and the comment of the mama is saying, the ladies of these days, if they are raped, the men are not to be trouble. Because they are the one advertising for the raping. So naturally, a lady cannot put on a dress and the nipple is outside. You cannot put on a dress and the nipple is outside. And even some of you will put on a dress a quarter of the breast. A quarter of the breast is outside. What is it doing outside there? The breast is supposed to become a complete, but you leave a quarter of it, quarter of outside. Doing what? Doing advert, Doing advert. If the rest of the ladies are doing it, it is not for you, the Christian women and Christian girls. You should put on appropriate dress and avoid what will create a bad name on you. Because we are identified by what we put on, the way we dress, where we go, what we drink, what we eat, the amusement we have, where do we get our entertainment. We are known by those. So let us behave as Christians. In time just as this, we behave as Christians. We behave as a Christian in times such as this, because we are in the last days. How many people want to behave Christian? Whether you're a man or a lady, whatever we eat, whatever we drink, whatever we do to the of God, not for attraction, not for attraction. Let's pray. God our Father in heaven, we would like to thank you. Time is not enough for us to exhaust this subject of Christian behavior. Oh Father, whatever little we have learned from here, let it help us. May we also help others, so that, Lord, we behave as Christians in these last days. Oh Father, remember us in your kingdom. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.